Good morning, good morning, good morning. Is there anyone there? Mm-hmm. Remember, say they give Pfizer to kids. Mm-hmm. Did I get your next shot yet? So you're fully vaccinated? So you know that? You tell us what? Oh yes, so 2 weeks for sure. Because after 2 weeks after the second shot, you're fully vaccinated. Morning. Camera there, no? Camera there. Yeah, water gone. Every day them just lock off the water, so.
You can water there and drum. Janet. Clean fresh water, fresh. How are this?
I show you. You're Jaden. I make so much noise in my life. Turn that down. So today is ow, Jaden, my hand. Oh my lord.
Chili.
Oh my god, Jaden, you're gonna kill me. So, guys, yesterday I could not move my shoulder like this because it was in so much pain. I woke up Friday morning with in pain. Woke up Friday morning in pain, but thank God for those who said I should drink some tea. Yes, because I've been taking painkiller and it wasn't helping. I've been rubbing it with all kind of something. It wasn't helping. I got prayer and I know the prayer helped too. But the ginger tea and the tough crackers. What if you eat off your tough crackers? I ate my tough crackers. I don't know. Mm-hmm.
All them something that talk like this.
It is. Jalissa come ask me eat her tough crackers. Anyway, I am here today to say I don't have to do any more silent live. I can do live from any one of my devices because I'm qualified to go live. Yes, because I made the requirement. Yay! So, for your devices to go live, so for your devices to go live, you have to get the required 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. To God be the glory, I made the 4,000 watch hours. It has been a long journey for the 7 months. Let me see who is. Yeah, about the devices. A lot of devices. And so for the right beside me watching me live. Can you imagine? So it is Heroes Day, and if you know me, I love my heroes because they are the ones who paved the way for us to be living in this country. If you know our history, you will know that we were we were bought in slavery, or our forefathers were bought in slavery. So no, like that. Let's turn it down. Hold on. Yes, I get the view. Well, this. I'm going to talk. But I talk. All right.
Auntie!
Madam C.
Right.
Papa, I'm Nani. I'm Gonga. Ababa.
This grandnephew of mine.
Bata.
Stop.
Stop,
Stop,
stop.
stop.
Rami, stop it.
Stop it.
Jaden, stop.
Rami, stop.
Let me go over somewhere else where it won't disturb me.
Over.
So as usual, I'm under my mango tree. Nobody online, you see. On the sofa one. Jaden, stop now. I want to sit down. I want to sit down. So Miss King.
Wait.
Ow! Jaden, my hands at my shoulder. Stop. My hurt at my shoulder. I must say my shoulder sore. Teacher King is here. She's doing. I'm gonna do her ear by Sophia. Sophia has a YouTube channel. I don't know if she's active on the channel or what. Sophia, your channel is suspended.
They're 52 on top.
52 what?
Subscribe.
But how are you gonna get subscribers?
They don't want to put on up by my phone. Every time
Oh,
Lisa and brother, I beg them not open.
so how are they? What you want to do to get your channel up and running?
Put up my hair style, I don't want to put it.
Okay, but you're a channel, so you have to show the interest.
I'm going to try hope for you.
You have to show the interest if you want your channel to grow. Because remember, now the first goal is to get 1,000 subscribers. And then you have to try get watch hours. Or you're going to get watch hours. You have to have videos up. You have to share your videos and tell persons to share your videos. All right, so Miss King is here.
Lisa,
Hi, Sister Shireen.
John and Lisa, hi.
Good morning. Sister Shireen, I am giving thanks. My hand and my shoulder could not move like this yesterday. And it is moving now. So I'm feeling happy. God is still in the healing business. Oh, Lord. So, yes, God is still in the healing business. I can move my shoulder. My shoulder could not move. You know, so I tell the devil, you know, saying can touch any part of my body from until not touch here, so me alright, because the out of this come victory. Yes. Alright, so it's Heroes Day. And as I said before that everybody knows the history that we were bought in slave. So our ancestors, they came from Africa. And the first inhabitants of this country were the Tainers. What? The Tainers or the Arawaks? Yes, darling. All right, so they came from South America, and they are known as the Amerindians. All right. So they were here, living here, living here nice and dandy. And then now, Christopher Columbus now, he wanted to prove a point that the world was flat. So he wanted to say the world was flat. So he wanted to prove that point. So he was an Italian, and he came here on behalf of the Spaniards. So he came here on behalf of the Spaniards, and he left and came this side. So when he came and he discovered Jamaica. Well, people say he discovered Jamaica, but Jamaica was here long before because the Amerindians were living here already. And when the Arawaks saw him, or saw the white people, they believed that they were gods, and they because they have never seen anybody with that color before. But you know what Christopher Columbus did? They came here and they took them and they worked them and they gave them diseases and so forth and kill them off. They kill off the Amerindians them. So now they went back because they had discovered Hispaniola before. They had discovered Hispaniola because if you know Hispaniola, Hispaniola is what is now called made up of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. But that's a different story. What is about history? Anyway,
I'm gonna come downstairs out there.
anyway,
Come on.
so
Don't pull all the street here. Mama, mama.
so the Spaniards by that time now came and took over Jamaica because of Christopher Columbus. So they went on this trade and they went and they bought slaves from the Africans. Some of them were traded, some of them bought and they packed them up here and the rest is history. So you have different types of Africans came, different tribes, mostly from is it Ghana? I think it was Ghana. So the Africans have been living here, working as slaves. They have been them work them to the ground. I'm sorry, time look on live. I forgot watching me on live. Listen, man, after.
Good morning, Miss Minor.
Me talk to her.
Yeah. She said she's up on live. We're going to watch her live.
Teacher, I'm on live. I talk about heroes. So anyway, the Spaniards, so after a while now, because for years they have been living as slaves and so forth. When the Spaniards came, they brought their religion, which was Christian religion, but the denomination was Roman Catholic. So they worship and allow the slaves to worship with them as Roman Catholic. That's a picture. Yeah. You know, long time when I see picture, remember I used to have a picture with the. Oh Lord, he's dying. Wow. Anyway, so news starts spread all over Europe now because you know that Spain is a European country. So news starts spread all over Europe and that the Spaniards came and the Spaniards captured different countries. Oh, that upon him and take it off him, but him and him foot. Take time, no? So if he can fly. Oh Lord, he can't fly. So at that time now, so news starts spreading all over Europe about the Spaniards who came and captured. So the English came now, that is a very historical here in 1655, and they fought the Spaniards, and I think Nanny at that time was instrumental in helping the English to fight the Spanish because they were free. They were slaves that ran away in the mountains. So they were in the mountains, and they helped fought off the Spaniards. So then now Jamaica became colonized and became colonized by the English. When the English came, they came and they brought their own stuff. They brought even their own denomination, which was Anglican, right? So English brought the Anglican, Spanish brought Roman Catholic. So there was two denominations that came here at that time, but now you have about nearly 50,000 different denominations because you have so many breakaway. People just start interpreting the Bible the way they want to interpret the Bible, and then just start their own church, start their own denomination. So out of the Anglican and the Roman Catholic, you have all these denominations. Every denomination thinking that their denomination is the same, but the one common denominator is Jesus, right? So from once they're saying Jesus, I'm okay with it. So from once I'm saying Jesus is the King of Kings, Jesus is the Lord of Lords, I am okay with that. All right. So you have some heroes now who are instrumental in getting us to where we are. And I want to look at them and look at them different because each of them is unique in his or her own way. And as you know, we have 7 national heroes, 6 males and 1 female. Now, Marcus Garvey, he was the one that was given the first national hero. Marcus Garvey is so significant because Marcus Garvey, he loved black people and he did not like how black people was being treated. So although he didn't get formal education up to high school, he was so educated. That man did so much for this country, not only Jamaica, but for Negroes, that's what they call black people, all over the world. And I just wish that us as black people we just sit down because I think we are going too fast. And although COVID-19 came and slowed us down for a little while, it's like we want to get back to that fastness. You on the bus going right here. They don't want to hear me if you feel like they don't want to. See them? These are the 2 grandnephews. So, let me find something about Marcus Mosiah Garvey. And he is Jamaica's first national hero. So he was the first person who was given national hero. I don't know everything what I make head. So I can go to YouTube or I can go to Google because those just it is on. Oh yes, my dad should come. She can come chat with me. Yes. Open up for the apple to go back in now. Eh? You always have what if I work for the come all this. Look at me look for Marcus Garvey. Come! Son right here, so this is my partner in crime.
Oh, we had a...
Son right here, so say hi.
Hello, hi. How you doing? This is Jess at JJ from Life in Gealeane. Are you videoing?
We're alive!
We're live. Hi.
Sophia,
What do you mean it's not to me? It doesn't mean. So when
that means it goes.
Yeah.
Huh?
So when you go to see me mouth and move and nobody not going to see nothing. That's going to happen.
The cafe mask, no?
No, I don't mean that because most of us see in live I don't hear a thing.
No!
Okay, it is live.
Me get 4,000 watch hour now so me can go live now.
Okay.
I'm not silent anymore.
Okay, we are not dumb. You know, I did a video about it. Me can't believe the world cut and paste. You got to send it. Yeah, mother.
So why not?
Hi, Julie, how are you doing? You're fine.
Why am I not get on to Google?
So, Maxine, I'm live,
Who you
girl.
say? Oh,
Nobody.
I was just especially myself. Shireen.
Hi, Shireen. Girl, what's up, girl? You see? Look where I am. Shut down time. Me body.
Let me know where you live.
Oh, I live in Gealeane, doing the shutdown.
I look for something about Marcus Garvey. All right.
Oh, my community that I live, it's named after Marcus Garvey.
Yeah, so tell them look about that. Garvey Mead. Yes, man.
Okay, I can't tell you
Look at
much.
the mask.
Oh no, right? No, I'm abiding by the rules and regulation of the country. Wear my mask and social distance. So you don't have me to take out my mask. Okay.
Okay.
Right. I live in Garvey Mead and it's named after Marcus Mosiah Garvey. And we celebrate Marcus Garvey on the 17th of August. But because of the whole COVID thing, we don't do any for the past
So
2 years.
he was celebrated the 7th of August because he was born.
Right.
So tell him that.
That's what I said. I want to do a celebration. Always have a celebration.
But you know what tell us saying born the 17th of August.
Okay. That's what she said. And she's a teacher. She knows everything. Right.
because he was born the 17th of
August,
August,
we
Garvey Mead
celebrate.
celebrates his day on his birthday.
That's right. You
Yes.
see, when a teacher is involved, she says the right thing. Okay, right. Well, for the past 2 years, we haven't been doing anything because of the COVID. Yes, so we haven't been doing anything. But Garvey Mead is a well-developed community. Is most person think it's an uptown community, but to be real with you, we are poor class. Poor class? Middle class people living there, right? And oh boy, I don't want to get into it, but I love my community, and it's named after a national,
The first
the first
national
national heroes, and he
hero
was born in where? St.
in
Anne?
St. Anne,
That's right. And he probably-
August 17, 1887.
You see why my favorite teacher beside me, because I wouldn't find all the information, because guess what? I'm getting old, and all those things that I've learned when I was much younger, they're all erased and putting in new things.
It's up on Google.
The minute I say no, but what I'm saying in my brain,
Oh.
when I say you know the on Google, if me Google it, I'll find it. But in my brain, to be
Okay.
honest, I can't keep everything. I have to delete some for the new things to come in. Right, Jalissa? Yes. I want to Jalissa do.
No,
Well, look at me, I chat so much so. Come take over.
no. Say just come and gone.
Yeah.
So you care for me.
Yes. Thank you. You know me like so.
You're going to get somebody vaccinated? Okay, all right. Trust me, between me and just set enough people will get vaccinated. So if any money I give out, we're supposed to get some. The truth just said, enough somebody we encourage to get vaccinated. Enough people.
Don't be afraid.
When them I contact, but I say, look here, from me born, me I get vaccinated. Go get the vaccination. The vaccination.
Anything
Anyway,
else?
go on live and watch me on live. I'm on live. All right.
So you have big party? Friday? Or crash the party?
I'm going to tell you, Friday outreach day.
Yeah. Jalissa?
All right, so let us talk about Marcus Garvey now. Hello, let me talk about Marcus Garvey now. All right, my parents just said, big up yourself. All right, so as just said, told you that Marcus Garvey was born on August 17, 1887, and he was from the Garden Parish of St. Anne. Yes. So what I like about Marcus Garvey, he was the founder and the first president of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, and the acronym for that is UNIA. Now what Marcus Garvey did with that was he wanted black people to have a work, because in those times, because black people were being stigmatized, we were treated as dogs, we were seen as slaves, so we must always been working for people. So he wanted us to be our own bosses. He wanted us to have a career. So he wanted us to be independent. He wanted us to put on suit like the rest of white people them, yes, and go out and work. So black people could be business owners. So at one point he had restaurants, he had so many things based on this from this universal UNIA. And he did all of that for us until people started getting jealous and the white people started thinking that black people gonna come and take over the world. I'm still appalled. I'm still upset sometimes, even when it is Black History Month, to see some things that black people went through because of the color of our skin. God made us as one people, one nation. So always it that because I am black, I'm to be treated different. You know what? I'm just happy that I was not born in that era, because I don't think I could have survived. Yeah? But we are black people. Yes. So that is what black people he did. And let me see if I can read something. So I'm going to read. It said Marcus Mosiah Garvey was born on August 17, 1887 in St. Anne's Bay, a town in the colony of Jamaica, in the context of colonial Jamaican society, which had a colorist social hierarchy Garvey was considered at the lowest end, being a black child who believed he was of full African ancestry. However, later genetic research nevertheless revealed that he had some Iberian ancestors. Garvey's paternal great-grandfather had been born in slavery prior to its abolition in Jamaica. His surname, which was Irish origin, had been inherited from his family's former slave. And then even that one day I'm going to do a live about names. Because if you have a name let me see, like Johnson, it means that your 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 master's name was John. So I'm Maveen. It means that your master's name was John. So then you become the son of John. So your surname become Johnson. So all of them who have a S-O-N at the end of your name, your slave master's name was the name before. So if your name was Stuartson, that means your slave master's name was Stuart. So you are the son of Stuart. And Macpherson and all of them. So yeah, Stevenson, all of them will have a S-O-N at the end. Your slave master's name was the the compound word before the son. Alright? Alright. So I'm gonna go back in a Marcus Garvey now. So up to age 14, Garvey attended a local church called education really started in the church. It was like maybe some children, the children of this masters will teach the slaves. So they taught them to read and write. Because a matter of fact, in those days, masters don't want the slaves to learn to read or write. No. So they didn't want to get an education. So they have churches. Churches is where education starts. And this is why up to today, education still in a slavery because education still down there. So you don't see the benefit of education because it was found in slavery. And this is why the government treat teachers like this. And as we talk about it, we are treated as if we are slaves. Can you imagine? You don't have money to pay teachers. I, Maxine. You don't have money to pay teachers. And you say teachers must hold on and hold this and 2 3 years like the raise. But yet once somebody in the education ministry can thief 124 million, me stop shut up my mouth now, me a talk, and I'm going to use my platform to talk. Because slavery was education started in slavery, so we are still treated as slaves. Yes, and I'm talking about it. All right. When not in school, Garvey worked on his maternal uncle tenant farm. A maternal means mother. So you have your maternal family, and you have the paternal one. So you have your mother's side of family, and you have your father's side. All right. So when he was not in school, he worked with his uncle, and he had friends with whom he once broke the window of a church, resulting in they arrested him for that. Some of his friends were white, although he found that as they grow older, they distanced themselves from him. He later recalled that a close childhood friend was a white girl. We were two innocent fools who never dreamed of race, feeling, or being a problem. So in 1901, Marcus was an apprentice to his godfather, who was at a local printer. And in 1904, the printer opened another branch at Port Maria, where Garvey began to work, traveling from St. Anne's Bay every morning. St. Anne's Bay is the capital of St. Anne, and Port Maria is the capital of St. Mary's. So, there are two different parishes, but they are neighboring parishes. So he had to travel some distance. And we don't want to work. We say too far. We not, so in those days, we never have bus. We never have transportation. So I'm sure Marcus Garvey had to walk. He had to walk all that distance every day from St. Anne's Bay to Port Maria to go and work. All right, let me continue. Garvey, in 1905, he moved to Kingston. That's where I was born, where he boarded in Smith Village, a working class neighborhood. In the city, he secured work with the printing division. All right. Garvey became a trade unionist and took leading role in November 1908 printers workers strike. So he's the one who led the strike in the printing company. So a long time people at work, people don't want to pay them enough. Long time. Them at work, people and don't want to pay them. So Marcus Garvey led that strike in the printing company. Anyway, let me go down a little further now. When he started to travel abroad, economic hardship in Jamaica led to the growing immigration from the island. Immigration means that they left Jamaica and they went overseas to look work. In mid-1910, Garvey traveled to Costa Rica. And Costa Rica is in South America. It's in South America, where an uncle had secured him employment as a timekeeper on a large banana plantation in the Limon province owned by the United Fruit Company. Shortly after his arrival, this area experienced strikes and unrest in opposition. All right. Garvey then traveled through Central America, undertaking casual work as he made his way through Honduras. So all of these countries, Honduras, Ecuador, Colombia, and Venezuela, they are known as Central America or South American countries or mainland countries. So they are known by that. In 1913, he was employed as a messenger and an handyman for the African Times. So his career was mostly as a writer and at the printer. All right. He went back to London and he wrote an article on Jamaica for the Tourist magazine and spent time reading in the library of the British Museum. There he discovered Up from Slavery, and that was a book by the African American entrepreneur and activist Booker T. Washington. Washington's book heavily influenced him. Now almost financially destitute and deciding to return to Jamaica, he unsuccessfully asked both the Colonial Office and Anti-Slavery and Aborigines Protection Society, Trenton, June, for a 3-week journey across the Atlantic. And that is how he came back to Jamaica. Okay. Let me talk about the UNIA before I finish about Marcus Garvey. Garvey arrived back in Jamaica in 1914. And there he saw his article for tourists republished in the Gealeane. You saw long Gealeane about? long time. Let me take off, I'm going to wipe my face because I know I sweat a lot, All right, so when he came back to Jamaica now, he saw his article in the Gealeane. He began earning money selling greeting and condolences cards, which he had imported from Britain, before later switching to selling tombstone. You see, Marcus Garvey has always been trying. So he sell greetings card, he sell condolences cards, then he started selling tombstone. In 1914, Garvey launched the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Committee League, commonly abbreviated as the UNIA, adopting the motto one aim, one God, one destiny. So we see that it's one God, one God, one God, one aim, one destiny. It declared its commitment to establish a brotherhood among the black race, to promote a spirit of race pride, to reclaim the fallen, and to assist in civilizing the backward tribes of Africa. Initially, it had only a few members. Many Jamaicans were critical of the group, prominent use of the term Negro. I don't like that word. A term which was often employed as an insult. So you're from once you're black, you're a Negro. All right. Garvey, however, embraced. So what Garvey did, embrace it. And this is what I always tell people. Life offers you a lemon, turn it into a lemonade. The best lemonade. Even if you don't have no sugar in it. So although the term Negro was insulting, he embraced that term. He used it to his advantage. All right? So he embraced the term in reference to black people of African descent. So Garvey became the UNIA's president and traveling commissioner. It was initially based out of his hotel room in Orange Street, Kingston. It portrayed itself not as a political organization, but as a charitable club. And you know I love charity. Yeah. Focus on work to help the poor and ultimately establish I feel nails, Lisa. All right, to establish where was I? Vocational Training College modeled on Washington Tuskegee Institute. Good morning, darling. All right. So that's about Marcus Garvey. So Marcus Garvey, today being National Heroes Day, I salute you. I love what you did for black people. You know, if only black people would appreciate what you did for us. UNIA, one aim, one God, one destiny. So now let me go to our first national heroine. Nobody know much about when she was born or when she died or anything.
Order treaty night.
Grandnevers are here.
Order
So
treaty.
Nanny is the only national heroine. All right? And she's known as Nanny of the Maroons. My mother is from Maroon descendant. So that makes me a Maroon. That's why I have this nice quality ear. Yes, Maroon ear. Nice ear. All right, so Nanny, Queen Nanny, or Granny Nanny, or Nanny of the Maroon, was an 18th century leader of the Jamaican Maroons. And she led a community of formerly enslaved Africans she called Windward of Maroons. And according to this, she was born in Ghana. She was born in Ghana. I know Ghana is Africa. Most of our slaves came from Ghana. So Ghana was like where most of the slaves came from. Yes. All right. In the early 18th century, under the leadership of Nanny, the Windward Maroons fought and it's called a guerrilla war over many years against British authorities. in the colony of Jamaica in what became the First Maroon War. So you know that, as I said earlier, that she was the one who helped the English fought off the Spaniards because the English realized that they could not defeat her. So they asked her assistance to help them, and she helped them, and that's why we became an English colony nation. I would have preferred for us to be a Spanish nation, but so it goes. Everybody can see Nanny on the $500 bill. If you want 500, I can say, beg your nanny, no, or give me a nanny. Yes. Much of what is known about her comes from oral history, as little textual evidence exists. So oral, that come here talk, yeah, what people said. All right? According to the Maroon legend, Queen Nanny was born in what is today Ghana of the Ashanti people. According to the oral tradition and the least one of documentary source, she was never enslaved. So this is saying that she was never a slave. She was always fighting for slave, but she was never enslaved. Although widely assumed that she arrived in Jamaica as a slave, how she arrived in Jamaica is not certain. During the years of warfare, the British suffered significant losses in their encounters with the windward Maroons of eastern Jamaica. Maroons attributed to their success against the British to the successful use of supernatural powers by Nanny, but historians argue that the Maroons' mastery of guerrilla warfare played a significant role in their success. All right? So that is, let me see if I can say anything else about Nanny. Oh. All right, so today, and if you're watching news the other day, you would have seen when police went. Your hand is up? Are you saying bye for nails? All right. So Nanny did a lot. So they said she was not really a slave, although she might have come here. Hi, Jordan. Although she might have come here as a slave. Yes, teacher?
I wasn't trying to say anything.
Oh,
I'm listening.
all right. So that is it. So Nanny, salute you, big you up. And let me go on to another era quickly. Which era now you want me to talk about? Paul Bogle. One thing I know about Paul Bogle, that picture, the picture that everybody has of Paul Bogle is not really Paul Bogle.
Her name Thomas and Lennon or something like that.
So that's one thing I know. So the picture, this picture, everybody, this is not really Paul Bogle. All right? But I like Paul Bogle's story, and I appreciate Paul Bogle. Hey, just said to reach home. I like Paul Bogle. Paul Bogle was a Jamaican Baptist. He was a Jamaican Baptist deacon. So he's from the Baptist denomination. Hold on, I lost my. So he was a Christian. All right? So as a Christian, he didn't appreciate that persons were treating the black people like this. All right. He is a national hero, which I respect, as I said before. He was a leader of 1865 Morant Bay protesters who marched for justice and fair treatment for all the people in Jamaica. After leading the Morant Bay Rebellion, Bogle was captured by Jamaican Maroons, tried and convicted by the colonial government, because at that time the government system was like the system in England. We didn't have our government system now until we got independence in 1962. So at that time we were under the colonial law by the governors of England, and so forth. Some of our parishes are named after governors and leaders of England since we were captured or colonized by the English. All right. Bogle had become a friend of a wealthy landowner and fellow Baptist, George William Gardner. And George William Gardner, he is a biracial. Yes. What do I mean by biracial? Can I forget the word bi? Yes, I see it. Bi means two. All right, like what try means three. So yes, I see it. So George William Gardner was biracial. That means he came from two different races. And a man who served in the assembly as one of two representatives from St. Thomas in the East Parish. Gardner was instrumental in Bogle being appointed deacon of Stony Gut Baptist Church in 1864. Conditions were hard for black peasants due to social discrimination. Even now it is still happening in some parts of the world. Flooding and crop failure and epidemic. So right now we are going through an epidemic. We are going through a pandemic which is worldwide, but epidemic is in your area, so in your country. All right, so they have been experiencing that. Hold on. Yes. And then, let me see where I am. The requirement of payment for poll taxes prevented most of them from voting. As you know, in those days, you had to be landowners for you to vote, and you had to be landowners. You had to be a male. Women could not vote in that time. All right. Conditions were hard. I'm read that already. All right. So in August 1865, Gordon criticized the governor of Jamaica, Edward John Eyre, for sanctioning everything done by the higher class to the oppressions of the Negro. And Bogle concentrated, yes, Bogle concentrated on improving the conditions of the poor as awareness of social injustices and people's grievance grow. So people were a long time, all of this happening, a long time. So it disgusted Paul Bogle, it disgusted George William Gardner. So Bogle led a group of small farmers 45 miles to the capital Spanish town. You know far that? From St. Thomas. Remember, they don't have no bus, they don't have no Benz, they don't have no Beamer, they don't have no bicycle, they don't have no bike. So they had to use the 2 feet that God gave them. And they walked. The road, they were nice and dandy like this. And they walked from St. Thomas all the way to Spanish Town, to Governor Eyre, for sanctioning everything done by the higher class to the oppression of the Negroes. So although they were here, no sir, Bogle concentrated on improving the conditions of the poor. So all of these people, all of these eras, they wanted to see our conditions being better. And yet we are here now fighting against each other. We are here now criticizing each other and bad-minding each other. After persons went and did all of that for us, how do they benefit from what they have done? Because we are just defeating everything that they did for us. Bogle concentrated on improving the condition of the poor as awareness of social injustice. I read that already. The people of Stonygut lost confidence and trust in the government, and Bogle's supporters grew in number in the parish. And that that caused the Morant Bay Rebellion. that caused the Morant Bay Rebellion on October 7, 1865. Bogle and some supporters killed two men from Stonygut. A black man was convicted and sentenced to prison on charges of trespassing on a long abandoned plantation. So because the black man went on the white man's plantation, they sentenced him and put him in prison. One member of Bogle's group protested in court over the case, but was immediately arrested, and that angered the crowd. He was rescued moments later when Bogle and his men took the market square and retaliated. The police were severely beaten and forced to retreat. So on Monday, 9th of October 1865, warrants were issued against Bogle and a number of other riots for his assault. All right, and as you know, he was hung in front of the Morant Bay court on on the 24th of October 1865. So he was hanged because he stood up for a purpose. He stood up for something that he thought was right. He was against the oppression of black people. He was against how black people were being treated by the governor at that time, even the policemen. And I can tell you that it is still happening now. It is still happening now. And we are the cause of it. We are the cause of it. And I'm coming out today and I'm saying the heroes, they came and they did all of this for us. And now is the time for us to show our appreciation and start to live, not as if we are in slavery, but to live a life, firstly, a one that is pleasing in the sight of God, because at the end of the day, everything else that we do doesn't really matter, only what we do for God. So we need to live a life that is pleasing in God and live a life that we do not tear down each other. We don't tear down each other, but we help to build each other. One hand helps another. That's what, Miss King?
Yeah.
All right. All right, so I'm going to go straight now to George William Gardner. Which money you can find the Paul Bogle on?
$2 or
We don't have a
10 cents.
$2. He was on a $2 bill
Yeah,
when
if it knows only 10 cents or the $10. So that's $10.
when I Monday, but we never look pan. They must send little brown money. Must say, why them in the pan? I remember them little brown money there.
10 cents.
So 1 cent,
Paul Bogle.
which one is Paul Bogle on?
I think it's a 10 cents.
You have 10 cents money?
With them now use it.
We have 10 cents now?
Nobody now use that.
No, we have $1. We have some little brown money now. Where little brown money them there? Then I use them brown money there again.
Them now use them. So them need to put Paul Bogle on something.
Yeah, man. Paul Bogle need to go on something at higher value.
So you need to go on a couple.
Yeah.
About $10,000.
When I was little, I know it was on the $2 paper, $2 paper money.
You know, only for children doing.
But me don't know, we have some brown money. Me don't remember about 10 cents and 10 cents. But me not, a long time I see them brown money there. All right, so we're going to look at George William Gardner now. George William Gardner, born in the year 1815, and he died the 23rd of October 1865. And he was a wealthy, mixed-race Jamaican businessman. Gardner, you can hear his name, Gardner House. That's where the Prime Minister and all the members of Parliament, they meet every Tuesday in the Gardner House. All right, so that was named after him. And he, as I said, he was a wealthy, mixed-race Jamaican businessman, magistrate, and a politician, one of two representatives to the Assembly from St. Thomas in the East Parish. He was critic. He was a leading critic of the colonial government and the policies of Jamaican Governor Edward Irie. All right, so let me hear about it now. After the start of the Morant Bay Rebellion in October 1865, Irie declared martial law in that era, directed troops to suppress the rebellion, and ordered the arrest of Gordon in Kingston. He had him returned to Morant Bay to stand trial under martial law. Let me see what martial law is. Martial law is the temporary imposition of direct military control of normal civil functions or suspension of civil law by a government, especially in response to a temporary emergency where civil forces are overwhelmed or in an occupied. Hold on, give me a minute, my thing keep on closing. Are in an occupied territory. So that is what martial law is. All right. So he was forced to resign. The British government passed legislation to make Jamaica a crown colony. Let me see what a crown colony is. A crown colony was a colony administered by the crown within the British Empire. As we said, they know that we are colonies of the British, so it will be by England. There was usually a governor appointed by the monarch, and the monarch means the king or the queen of the UK, and the advice of the Home UK government, or with without assistance of a local council. So that is what it was. So in 1969, the Jamaican government proclaimed Gordon a national hero of Jamaica. And what I like about George William Gordon, he was the one who he had land. As I said, he was rich, and he cut up his land in different lots and sold to people so people could have land. And because of that, now they were landowners, and then they would be able to vote. Because remember, in those days, if you never have any land, you can't vote. You had to be landowners. So he was significant in doing that. He was the second of 8 children to a Scottish planter, Joseph Gordon, and an enslaved woman. In those days, the planters could have the slaves women to their advantage. Anytime they want them, they must ask them to come to them. So that was what. So they sexed them off. So his mother was a slave, and his father was a plantation owner or a plantation planter. And that's why he is biracial or from a mixed race. Okay? Yes. All right. Joseph Gordon had migrated to Jamaica to serve as an attorney for a number of absentee-owned sugar estate, and he later bought several properties himself. Among them was the Cherry Garden Estate. You know Cherry Garden? Some nice big houses up there. Yes, where George William was born. Joseph Gordon later served as a member of the House of Assembly and as a custos. You know them have custos in his parish, of the parish of St. Andrew. Gordon was self-educated, teaching himself. So he taught himself to read and write and perform simple accounting. He was born a slave. His father gave him freedom at the age of 10. So he was a slave because his mother was a slave, but because his father was a planter, the father gave him freedom at the age of 10. He was allowed to live with his godfather, James Daly of Black River, And then within a year, Gardner began to work in daily business. All right, so let me see what else I want to know about Gardner. As I know, as I said, he was significant in Paul Bogle being a deacon, and because of his association with Paul Bogle, unfortunately, he was hung 2 days after Paul Bogle. So, George William Gordon, I salute you. You were born a slave, you were freed at 10, but you never forgot your, what you gonna call it, Miss King? Where he came from. He reminded, George William Gordon reminded me of Moses because, yes, Moses was born to an Israelite mother, and because at the time they were killing all the firstborn males, his mother placed him in a basket and placed him in a river, you know. And then Pharaoh's daughter found him, and she treated him as one of those from Egypt, as an Egyptian. But as soon as Moses realized that he was an Israelite, he started to feel the pain that they were enduring. He didn't want to be known as the Egyptian who was allowing them to go through those pains and those suffering. So what he did, he started to kill out them. And because of that, now he had to flee from the palace or from all the rich life that he knew, and he had to flee. And then God was able to use him to go back to Israel and tell Pharaoh, let my people go. All right, so George William Gordon just remind me of Moses. All right, so let me go now to Alexander Bustamante. I love Alexander for many reasons. I I love Alexander for many reasons. Sir William Alexander Clark Bustamante, and his birth name, so when he was born, his mother named him William Alexander Clark. And he was born on February 24, 1884. He was a Jamaican politician, because you know that he was the one who founded the Jamaica Labour Party. All right. So he was born to Robert Clark, and he was an Irish Catholic planter in Bleehem, Hanover. And Robert Constant Clark was the half brother of Margaret and Manley, nee Shearer, who was the mother of Norman Washington Manley. So Alexander Bustamante and Norman Washington Manley were two first cousins. All right? William said that he took the surname Bustamante to honor a Spanish sea captain who he claims adopted him in his early years and took him to Spain, where he was sent to school and later returned to Jamaica. Bustamante traveled the world and worked in many different places. He left Jamaica again in 1905 at the age of 21. His occupations included working as a policeman in Cuba, as a tramcar conductor in Panama, and as a dietitian in New York City Hospital. At the age of 48, he returned to Jamaica in 1932, where he opened offices at 1A Duke Street as a money lender and a dairy products man. His office was downstairs and living quarters upstairs. All right. Now, what I like about Bustamante, he was the one who can take credit for leading us into independence. So when he decided that he did not want us to be under the colony of the United Kingdom anymore. So he led us into being independent from the British. So on August 6, 1962, Jamaica got independence from England. So we no longer using that Union Jack. The Union Jack now is the flag of England. So on August 6th, midnight, the Union Jack was lowered and the black, green and gold flag of Jamaica for the first time was higher as the flag of Jamaica. And that is due to our hero, our national hero, Sir Alexander Bustamante. He became a leader in activism against colonial rule. He gained recognition by writing frequent letters on the issues to the daily Gealeane newspaper in 1937. He was elected as treasurer of the Jamaica's Workers' Union and had been founded by the labor activist Alan G.S. Cumbus. So during 1938 labor rebellion, he became identified as a spokesman for striking workers who were mostly of African and mixed race descent. So a long time people have strike for money, and I just know. A long time that's why it vexed me. First they want to get teacher 2% increase, and the same ministry of $124 million that are missing. And plus Royal Reed, how much money him take already. And they want us to be shut up, but me not shut my mouth. Yes. Work until you die. You work and you pay a bill. You work and you pay a bill. You work and you pay a bill. It can't continue. Yes. So Bustamante also led the position until the jail. So he was the founder of the JLP. And he, in the election, because at that time, 1944, now we had universal adult suffrage, where the law said that every human being, whether man or woman over the age of 18, can vote. Because before that, only white men or only people who own lands could vote. So 1944, the universal adult suffrage says that every person can vote for who they want to lead. So at that time now, we had our first election. Alexander Bustamante won as the leader of the Jamaica Labour Party, and he became Jamaica's first prime minister. Big up yourself, Bustamante. Big up yourself, Bustamante. All right. So let me go and talk about his cousin. Which money we have Bustamante on? All right. On the $1 coin, you can find Bustamante.
All right, principal, you get that one.
So let us go to his first cousin now, Norman Washington Manley. Let me go to Norman Washington Manley. Norman Washington Manley was born on the 4th of July, 1893, and he died September 2, 1969. He was a Jamaican statesman who served as the Prime Minister of Jamaica. A Rhodes Scholar, Manley became one of Jamaica's leading lawyers in the 1920s. Manley was an advocate for the universal adult suffrage. Remember, I just spoke about universal adult suffrage, which was granted by the British colonial government in 1944. So, encouraged by Osmond Theodore Fairclough, who had joined forces with the brothers Frank and Ken Hill, in 1938, he helped launch the People's National Party. So yes, the power people them. Which later was affiliated to the Trade Union and Congress, and even later the National Workers Union. So he was the one who founded the National Workers Union, while Bustamante founded the Bustamante Trade Union. And all these unions, they came to help workers get a fair chance, get a fair salary. All right? He led the PMP in every election from 1944 to 1967. The efforts resulted in a new constitution of 1944 granting full adult suffrage. All right, so Manley served as the colony's chief minister and he was Jamaica's first premier. All right, so he was Jamaica's first premier and he served as the premier from 1959 to 1962. He was a proponent of self-government, but was persuaded to join 9 other British colonies in the Caribbean territories in the Federation of the West Indies, but called a referendum on an issue in 1961. All right, so those two, he along with Bustamante, they were the ones who helped us got independence from the British. All right, let me go to Sam Sharpe. I like Sam Sharpe. Let me go to Samuel Sharpe. All right, Samuel Sharpe. Samuel Sharpe. Samuel Sharpe, born in the year 1801, and he died on the 23rd of May, 1832. Also known as Sam Sharpe, he was an enslaved Jamaican who was the leader of the widespread Baptist War Slave Rebellion, also known as the Christmas Rebellion in Jamaica. So Samuel Sharpe was born into slavery in the parish of St. James, Jamaica, on a plantation owned by Samuel and Jane Sharpe. The slave returned of 1832 announcing his death and gave his name as Archer, aka Samuel Sharpe, the son of Eve, and he was only 31 years old when he died. The slave return of Samuel and Jane Sharpe in 1817, showing a young 12-year-old Archer at the plantation with his mother, Judah Blingan, and siblings. He was allowed to become educated, for which he was he was well respected by his enslaved peers. Sharpe became a well-known preacher and a leader in the Baptist Church, which had long welcomed the enslaved as members and recognized them as preachers. He was a deacon at the Burchell Baptist Church in Montego Bay, whose pastor was Reverend Thomas Burchell, a missionary from England. Sharpe spent most of the time traveling to different parishes in Jamaica, educating the enslaved about Christianity, which he believed promised freedom. All right, so then now, let us look at about the Baptist War. Where possible, the enslaved closely followed the British Parliament's discussions surrounding the abolition of slavery. So, so Sam Sharpe was the one who was responsible for the abolition of slavery. So after the Christmas Rebellion and so forth, because Sam Sharpe was tired of us being enslaved, he was tired. So in 1838, where we had in 1838, let me get the correct date. In 1838, Jamaica was freed from slavery. So we were emancipated from slavery. So as of August 1, 1838, we can say we were abolished from slavery. And that is why several years after we start getting August 1 as a public holiday, because it is a reminder that on the 1st of August 1838, because of what Samuel Sharpe did, because of that Christmas rebellion, we were abolished from slavery. So after that now, we had indentured workers coming in because slavery, the slaves, abolition from slavery mean that you cannot work them again without paying them. All right? So you had to pay them. Okay? So then now they started to get persons from different nations coming in. The Chinese came in and they work. The Indians came in. The Syrians came in. And all of these came and they worked on the contract for 5 years. At the end of the 5 years, they had the choice to leave if they wanted to leave. Many of them stayed here. 'Cause you know, you have a Chinese shop downtown, Chinese shop, what about Indian stores because they decided to stay here and make a living. So that is why our motto came in now. So out of all of these indentured workers, and because they came here and they did not leave. So the Indians are here, the Chinese are here, the Syrians are here, the Africans are here, the English are here. All of these now, they came here and they stayed here. So out of all of these nations, we are one people. We are one Jamaican. Hi, Crypto. We are one nation. All right? One. So this is what I want to see us doing. Living as one people. Nobody don't think so them better than anybody. No. Everybody fighting the same fight. And the fight that we are fighting is the wrong fight. Right now we are to fight to ensure that our souls reach heaven. Is it well with my soul? And it's a fight now that we should be fighting. So let me see which era I have not looked at yet. I look at Paul Bogle. I look at George William Gordon. I look at Nanny. I look at Alexander. I look at Norman. I look at Marcus Garvey. So I think I looked at everybody. 7. I think I looked at everyone. Hold on, let me check. All right, so we as a people, what I want us to do, always remember our heroes. Always remember what they did for us. Always remember that I can move around today because of what they did. All right? They fought a fight that some people are still fighting. In America, you know that racism is up there. And on my last video, I was telling Miss White about this reality show that I watch. And this year, I've been watching it maybe for the past 10 years or 11 years. It is called Big Brother. And what happens is that it's a game, but it allows persons to come into this house. So maybe sometimes 15 persons, 16 persons, and they come in and they spend the summer playing a game. And the game is called Big Brother. And what they do, they play games, and you will have head of household, and you have different games that give you power. And over the years, it has been 23 years since this game has been playing. And there has never been a black winner. Never. Because what happened, as most time the black persons, by week 3, they are being evicted from the house. There have never been a black winner. And this year, because of the black, remember last year when they killed the black man George, I had the Black movement, Black Lives Matter movement. I guess based on that now, persons, the producer of the show decided to make it a more mixed class. So what happened? 6 black people entered the house on day one. And those 6 black people decided to work together as a team to ensure that first of all that they will make it to the final 6 and to make sure that this year the show will have its first black winner. And that says something to me, and that tells me that if we decide as a people to work together as a team, we can do marvelous stuff. Think about the Bible. In the days when the children of Israel decided that they wanted to see heaven, they wanted to see God, and they decided that they're going to work together. They came together as one and decided that they're going to build the Tower of Babel. And they were on one accord. And because of that now, they were succeeding. And God saw that they were succeeding. And what did he do? He confused them and changed their languages. So I know, as unity, together we stand, we have power. We have power if we, when in Acts chapter 1 or chapter 2, when they were on one accord, they received the gift of the Holy Spirit. So the denominator now, the common denominator is that we need to be on one accord. Teachers, let me talk to you. If we want to raise up here, if we come together and be on one accord, we can get it. But the thing is, the persons who we elect as JTA president, they're sell out already. So it doesn't even make sense. So it defeats the purpose of having a union like what Marcus Garvey did, for the printers, for what Alexander Bustamante did, for what Norman Manley did. So they came together and worked together and demand. We are no longer in slavery. That's why Bob Marley said, emancipate, not Bob Marley, yes. Yeah. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. Free up your mind. Renew your mind. We need to have a renewed mind. We can't continue, and that is why we are killing each other. Senseless nonsense. So we are defeating the purpose and everything that these heroes did for us. And we are fighting a fight that was fought a long time ago. A long time ago this fight was fought. So what makes sense? Why are we still fighting this fight? Let us fight the good fight of faith. Fight the good fight of faith. Let us tell the persons about the love of Jesus. The heroes did what they had to do already now. It's a different fight. It's a fight for us to get to heaven. So we can stop fighting against each other. All that God wants us to do is to love each other, to live a life according to His will and according to His purpose. So it doesn't matter now, everything else does not matter. But being in His will, living by His way. Right now, some of us can't go to church because we are forced to stay home because of no movement. But what does that do to us? It should make us stronger because we should be now determined to live at the feet of Jesus. Hi, Patrick. I thank you, Hope White. And so the heroes fought that fight already. We are no longer slaves. So now we have to renew our minds and live a life that is pleasing to God. Live in unity. Children, obey your parents, for this is the will of God. And ask the children now, study to show yourself approved. Hello.
And you get your ear pulled out, you never pay this of them out right.
Yes. So I'm saluting the heroes today for what they have done. I thank you for those who stayed with me and talk. Hello? I'll turn the camera on you know. All right. I am thankful for those who stayed with me for today. I am happy that I can go on my live and it's not a silent live because I am qualified to go on live on any device now. Usually I could have only gone on it on my laptop, but my laptop does not make sound. Let me big up some people, big up everybody who's on here. Shireen, Lisa, Maxine, Jacette, Patrick. Let me see if I'm missing anybody. All right. So everybody. Elvaldi, Parkinson, Nails. Yes, Faith and Life. Big up Faith and Life. If you have not subscribed to Faith and Life, go ahead and subscribe. She has a word, a Rima word from God every day just for you. All right. If you have not subscribed to Phil Nails, go ahead and subscribe. If you want your nails to be done, yes, Phil Nails is the channel. My hairdresser, my friend Maxine. If you want nice natural hairstyle or if you want any style, Maxine, Michelle Hairdresser is the place for you. All right. Big up Hope White. Big up my student Patrick. Patrick, I taught him at primary school. Big up myself, Patrick. Big up my Spanish teacher, Mrs. Farkins, and everybody. Big up Mavine Walters, Miss Dentist. My dentist, we call her, my dentist assistant. Yeah. Big up Mavine Walters. All right. So I think I've been talking now for almost 1.5 hours. I never know that somebody can talk. Lord Jesus. Yes, so now and then I'll be doing lives, because I need views. Please share my channel with your friends, with your family. Encourage them to watch my videos. I don't do pranks. I don't curse bad words. I just do fun stuff, educational stuff, and like that. So then, thank you. Enjoy your No Movement Day. I hope you have learned something. Big up the national heroes. They did a lot for us here in Jamaica. And I'm proud to be a Jamaican because of them. I'm not going to leave my country and go anywhere else unless this was vacation. All right? So until my next video, this is Gealeane. You want to say something?
Happy Heroes Day.
All right. Come say something.
I mean, I really don't know what to say, but hi. Yeah, I really don't know.
She don't know what to say. All right.
Oh my
So
God.
bye.
Hi, everybody.
Bye. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Thank you for staying with me.
Like you have school today.
Yes, teacher Miss King.
Is some of the students came on?
Yes.
They have nothing to do with it.
All right. So bye-bye. See you soon. Oh, yeah, school resumes tomorrow. Lord God, I'm vexed. Because since holiday, my shoulder was hurting. Thanks to my outreach family who prayed for me. My daughter who boiled me ginger tea and rubbed my shoulder. My shoulder is much better. I can lift my hands. I could not do this yesterday. I could not do this. And I can today. God is good.
Amen.
Praise God. He is worthy. He is good. If you have not yet received God as your Lord and Savior, what are you waiting for? Nothing else in this world matter but what you do for God. Receive Him as Lord and Savior and find a church. If you do not have any church to go to, you can tune into Hope Temple Pentecostal Church of God. We do 2 services on Sunday at 7:30 and 9 o'clock. Subscribe to that channel too. Hope Temple Pentecostal Church of God, Trinity. Sophia, want to talk about your channel? Everybody, Sophia, look for her on YouTube and subscribe. She said she only have 50. How many subscribers you have, Sophia? 52. She only have 52 subscribers. She need 1,000 subscribers, please. Thank you for all of my subscribers. And those who stay and watch my madness and my laughs till, oh God. Thank you for those who are always on the channel with me. Josette, Maxine, thank you, Diane, thank you, Sophia, thank you, RJ, thank you, Jada, everybody who made the channel a success. Bye. See you soon.
My name was gotten wrong. My name is not Jada, it's Javier.
Okay, Javier.